Hi, my name is Nur Christina and I'll be presenting about the abstracts and overview of this article. The main theme for this article focuses on the effects of English urban slangs in verbal and written communication among youth in Selangor. Continue with the target group, this study specifically targeted youth aged 18 to 36 years old residing in Selangor. Moreover, the objective of this study is to examine the effects of English urban slang, identify its sources, and also analyze the perception of its use. It also seeks to understand its impact in various communication contexts. Next, for the methodology, this study employed a quantitative methodology in which using an online questionnaire as its primary instrument. A total of 154 respondents were randomly selected for the survey and the data was collected and analyzed using SPSS software to draw meaningful conclusions. Next, we continue with the key findings. From the study, it reveals some interesting insight. The first one is slang usage has become normalized among youth in Selangor. The second one is urban slang is primarily learned through social media and also media entertainment. The last one is why slang enhance casual communication. It also have negative effects on English proficiency as perceived by the respondents. In conclusion, this study emphasized the widespread normalization of English urban slangs and its significant role in youth communication. This form of language evolved based on several factors such as geography, experience, and also exposure. Their findings highlight its relevance in sociolinguistic studies and its importance in raising awareness among educators about language use in modern age.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Irfan bin Muhammad Azmin and I am the speaker too for this group. So I will explain more about the background of the article. So this article basically is written by 5 authors, which is May Grace Durio, Putri Nur Sabrina Najwa, Muhammad Nasir, Krista Anwar Roshi, Muhammad Aiman Haikal Muhammad Nizam, and Sharifah Anani Said Abdul Rahman. And their professional background is from Faculty of Education and Humanities, UNITAR International University of Malaysia. So we move to the next slide. This article was published just last year in 2023 in the International Journal of Academic Research in Business and Social Sciences. The research specifically focuses on how English urban slang influences verbal and written communication among youth aged 18 to 36 in Selangor, Malaysia. Why Selangor? Selangor was chosen because it's one of Malaysia's most urbanized states with a high population of internet-savvy youth. These young people are among the biggest users of social media, making them prime subjects for exploring the relationship between slang and communication. So next, the article also raises some interesting and important points. On the positive side, slang is seen as a creative tool for simplifying communication, particularly on platforms like Twitter, or also known as X, and WhatsApp, and also Instagram, where there's often a character limit. It also helps young people express their identity, connect with peers, and stay on top of social trends. For instance, phrases like slay, sigma, or abbreviations like LOL and OMG are not just words, they are cultural markers of this generation. However, there are challenges too. The author points out that the frequent use of slang can blur the boundaries between formal and informal language. This could make it harder for some young people to switch to more professional and academic communication styles when needed. Think about how writing you instead of YOU or GRA instead of great might affect someone's ability to write formally for work or school. Last but not least, for my part, the language used in this article is a mix of academic and technical, which makes sense given that it's published in a scholarly journal. But it's far from boring or overly complex. The authors provide plenty of relatable examples like using letter number combinations such as GRA for great or onomatopoeic expressions like ha ha ha. These examples make the study easy to understand and connect with, even if you're not a linguist.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hi, my name is Nur Ishra Binti Masin and I will be the third presenter. So now I will be discussing about the strengths and the weaknesses of this article. Let's begin with the strengths. So first, the article demonstrates comprehensive coverage by thoroughly exploring how urban slang affects both verbal and written communication. So it also provides detailed insight into modern linguistic trends, which making it a useful resource for understanding youth language in Selangor. So the second one is this study benefits from a focused demographic by targeting an individual which age between 18 to 36 years old. It's because by narrowing the scope to this age of group, so that the findings will become more specific and relevant to the group that most actively engage with the urban slang. So lastly, it is about the quantitative methodology. It is because it's relying on surveys and numerical data. This structured approach enhances the credibility of the findings, which providing measurable insights into the extent and nature of slang language. However, this study does have some limitations. So one of the weakness is lack of comparative context. It is because the focus is entirely on Selangor, so there is no other region to compare in Malaysia or international. Thus, it limits the broader applicability of its findings. Another issue is limited representative. The reliance on convenience sampling, particularly through digital platforms, may exclude certain groups and making the sample less reflective of the overall youth population. And the last one is overemphasis on quantitative data. While number and statistics are valuable, the lack of qualitative insights means that the cultural and emotional dimension of slang usage are not fully explored by us. So that's all for the weakness and the strength. So moving on to the next slide, which is methodology. So the research design is a quantitative methodology. So this article used an online questionnaire to collect the data. So about 154 respondents were chosen to answer the survey, which aged between 18 to 36 years old. In the survey, the respondents need to complete the demographic profiling, and survey section covered by the question about linguistic features of urban slang. So the data collection, it is conducted over 4 weeks via WhatsApp and in-person distribution, and also the questions include 29 close-ended questions. So the data will be analyzed by SPSS software. So last but not least, I'll be presenting about the variables in this research. So variable divided into two, which is independent variable and dependent variable. So independent variable is basically about what is being tested, and meanwhile dependent variable is something that is being measured. So in this research, the one that is being tested is exposure to slang and its source, and also the self-perception of English urban slang. So on the other hand, proficiency and context of slang use is the one that is being measured in this research. So it is the dependent variable. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, what's up guys? My name is Warna Blausna. I'm going to be the last presenter for today. So in summary, this article is focusing on the effects of English urban slang on verbal and written communication among youth in Selangor. Notice that earlier I used "Hi, what's up guys" in the greetings. This is actually one of the example of urban slang that people nowadays use to greet their friends. So using the research methods of quantitative survey and SPSS analysis, research found out that younger generation primarily learn about the urban slang through social media. So actually, this article was written by the lecturers of Faculty of Education and Humanities from UNITA and was published on 14 July 2023. This article, it draws attention to socio-linguistic features to address gaps in understanding slang communication using mixed academic and technical language in the article. Next, let's moving on to the implication of urban slang in learning, teaching, and understanding English. So first thing first, urban slang can act as a tool in the learning process. For example, educator can use the urban slang in lesson so that the lesson become more fun, engaging, and relatable for students, so that the students can be more attracted to learn English. At the same time, urban slang can help students to improve their communication skill in formal and informal setting. Other than that, it raises awareness of slang's role in communication is vital for educators and linguists. For example, educators can use slang as a gateway to discuss about the dynamic natures of language and its adaptability over time. So in other words, educators can use slang to show students how language can change over time and how to adapt to it. For future suggestion, I suggest that the future researchers to explore the long-term effect of slang on language proficiency. For example, they can investigate whether habitual use of slang can affect the ability to write and speak in formal English contexts, such as academic and in professional settings. Other than that, they can also examine how the slang evolved differently in various cultural, geographic settings, and social settings, potentially identifying regional adaptations or unique trends. Lastly, they can also study the impact of urban slang in different regions and among diverse age groups, particularly focusing on generational gaps in understanding and using the slang effectively. Lastly, I'm going to explain about the reflections of what we have learned from the article. So, what we have learned is that the importance of slang in modern communication and its sociolinguistic implications. So first, slang serves as linguistic bridge that allow younger generation to establish unique identities and connect socially, while also acting as cultural marker that might confuse elder generation. Apart from that, slangs also divides generational communication that potentially creates barriers in intergenerational dialogues. So it might get hard for elder generation to connect with younger generation through daily communication.